Okay. Megan, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Um, Here's what I'm wondering. In your position, what do you think have been the greatest challenges in either initiating or maintaining a coaching program? And then if you'll share a little bit about what you have done or what you're currently doing to overcome those challenges.
Thank you for having me, Sherry. I think for us, it's been a journey at, getting coaching up and running in our district over the past 10 years. But one of the things that I think has been really powerful for our district is having professional learning community time. Time is always a challenge in education. And one of the things that our district really set aside was the time to have collaborative conversations built into our day. So during professional learning communities, that's where professional learning can take place, but it's also a time where coaches have been able to have pre-coaching and post-coaching conversations and have collaboration with teachers in our district, whether that's looking at student data or engaging in a formal coaching cycle or having opportunities to engage in residencies where they're co-planning alongside a teacher in a certain part of our literacy framework. But the professional learning community has been a really valuable asset in our district. But at the same time, it's also been a challenge because that just as of this year has gone away. With some of with our new contract, the ability to have time set aside to have those coaching conversations has been a shift this year. And so that's definitely been a challenge. And I think that one of the ways that we've overcome that, or we're trying to overcome that, or we've kind of dabbled with in last year were the opportunity to have instructional rounds. And I know instructional rounds might look different or be called different things, but in our district, instructional rounds have been a very powerful coaching opportunity for not only our coaches, but our teachers. It's something that they really value. And an instructional round is an opportunity to really look at and hone in on instructional practice. And it's something that our teachers have really something they're grappling with. They're really keeping it centered on data. And a lot of times it's around small group instruction. And so the coaching opportunities for instructional rounds allow teachers to really look at student data alongside a coach. And we talk about student strengths and needs. And then the opportunity for us to plan a lesson based on the data. And then the coaches alongside the teachers will plan the lesson, and the coach will teach the first part of the lesson. And then after that, we use our students. So if we're looking at student data, we bring those students in. The coach will teach the lesson, then we debrief the lesson, and we plan a second lesson. And the teachers take on that learning, and they take on the teaching for that second part in the debrief. And why I mean that's something that we've done to overcome the challenges for not having professional learning community time is because that's been something that our administrators have valued too. And they've built in a half day of professional learning. So it's an opportunity for us to still engage in coaching without having that daily professional learning time, but it's time built into our school day that's been professional learning or a half day PD day for our teachers.
Great, great. And is that something that like all of your teachers are still have access to?
It's definitely something that we this year have been really reflecting on coaching. It's something that every month our coaches send out. One way they reach out to teachers for support is through a coaching survey. And that coaching survey has a lot of different options on it for how can we support you? What would you like support to look like? Whether that's, like I mentioned before, a formal coaching cycle or a residency or planning or looking at data or making it student-centered. You're looking at a student that you're really struggling with, their data, you're puzzling through and you just haven't been able to kind of figure out what instructionally to do to be responsive to their needs. It's something that we have offered on that coaching survey, and it's something that teachers are very interested in. So it's something that we're really trying to keep intact, especially after our benchmarking windows. We just finished up our mid-year benchmarking. And so our teachers have collaborative conversations in their TBTs and really looking at what are the strengths of our students, what are the needs, but most importantly, those conversations are centered around next steps whether that's coaching support for next steps or next steps for instruction. And instructional rounds have come up as a way to support not only our teachers, but our students as well.
Yeah, thank you. Um, I know you're in a fairly unique situation in that you're a district coach. You also train coaches within your district and support them in an ongoing way. Um, is there any advice that you would offer when it comes to thinking about supporting multiple coaches within a district, where whatever position that might be called, but you're the person who's supporting a group of coaches in a district? Is there any advice or insights you have about that?
I think building relationships is always my go-to. I think that in order to have a successful coaching role is for teachers to understand your role and to first and foremost build relationships with teachers and being transparent and ways that you're here to support them. I think too, there's lots of little nuggets I've learned along the way. I think keeping your coaching student-centered is really, really valuable too. When you're bringing data to coaching conversations and it's about what are your student strengths and needs, there's always that door that opens that lends itself to instructional practices, but it's really about our students and how we can meet the needs of our students through coaching conversations. I think another little piece of advice I would give is that relationship you have with your building administrator. I think the greatest success of implementation for coaching and our instructional practices has been centered around having building leaders that understand our role and have belief systems in place, and they share those belief systems with the staff, whether that's around literacy practices or coaching. I think our greatest implementation for coaching and support we've had are those buildings that we've had a strong leader that understands our role. And I think it's also when we set that time aside as coaches to have those conversations with our building leaders. I know for our coaches, one of the ways we do that is having monthly meetings with our building administrators. We call them literacy check-ins. So with our coaches, we have an agenda that we use, and our coaches share those. We have a primary and intermediate coach in each of our buildings, but those coaches come together and build an agenda and share that agenda with myself and the building principal prior to the meeting. So we come together and have those monthly literacy check-ins and really talk about the needs of that building. So that's been a really valuable piece that has been helped with our coaching.
Yeah, I think that's critical, the communication all the way around. Last question. Is there anything that you wish you had known before you either started being a coach yourself, because you initially started as a building coach? Is there anything you wish you had known about coaching before you became a coach or before you started leading coaches in your district?
Oh gosh, this is hard. Um, I, to be honest, I think knowing your core values and beliefs is a really important piece of establishing your role as a coach.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of work of soul searching and really thinking about my own values and beliefs and holding true to those. I actually have them posted right here on my bulletin board, and I come back to them often. And it's compassion, trust, and collaboration, and holding true to those values and beliefs in every capacity of my role, whether that's interacting with students or interacting with teachers or our coaches or our building administrators or our stakeholders, is really staying true to those. So I wish 11 years ago I would have done that inner work to really think about what are my core values and beliefs, and what are my non-negotiables that I'm going to stay true to. And I think for me too, my last little piece is I have another little sticky note that I come back to often, and it's what are my beliefs about my role, and I have this written down. It's to promote a culture of learning, inquiry, and reflection to improve that literacy outcomes for all students. And so when I'm finding myself in those hard times, I come back to that and know that that's my why. And that's what I believe in. And when times are hard, knowing your why and letting your passion shine through is really, really important. And I think when you have that passion and you come back to your why, others can catch on to that and they can feel that. And so I would say I wish I would have done the inner work a little sooner, because it's really something that I've been leaning on lately, and it's been very helpful.
That's fantastic. And you were doing amazing work in your district. You are highly respected by teachers and by coaches and administrators. And I think that's a testament to not only who you are, but how hard you've worked and the energy, time, and love you've put into being a district coach. So thank you so much, Megan.
Yeah.